What's up everyone, Jared here with Stanton Auto Reviews, and today we are going to do a review on this 2020 Infiniti QX50 Sensory Edition. Let's get it. Alright, so getting started with this Infiniti QX50, very sporty design as you'll see throughout the whole car. Let's go ahead and start showing it off. Front headlights, LED system with LED daytime running lights. Very sleek design, like I said, sporty. Looks great on this SUV. Dropping down, we have functional ventilation here, along with a sensor for the bumper, which you have all around this car. And then you have fog lights down there. Going over, you have the massive front grille. That's just a trend with every vehicle now. Infiniti slap in front, that way everybody knows what you're driving. Nobody can mistake it. Down here, more ventilation, and you have the plastic little lip up front. Going around to the side over here, and I'm going to walk across. We do have a 20-inch rim setup. You're running on 235 55 R20s. So because you have 20-inch rims on this multi-spoke design, it looks great, but you got to be careful if you get a thinner tire, because if you do, you could easily scuff these. That's just one thing to be aware of. Wanted to note, you do have a black strip that runs all the way across to the back. This is a trend throughout the vehicle. And then rising up real quick, we do have a little chrome strip right there. They just added it in for looks. We do have a colored side mirror with turn signal indicator right there. We have chrome running all the way across the windows, along with more chrome up on the roof, which is a built-in rail system, so you can kind of put crossbars if you want. And then you have the panoramic glass sunroof up there, goes all the way across. Coming down to the handles, you do have the push to lock, push to unlock system, which is a very nice feature in this vehicle. And then you'll see it slopes back to a little like rigid design back here. I think it looks neat. Not too many SUVs have the rigid design, it's just kind of sloped, so that's pretty cool. And then slopes down to these taillights, which are very sleek, just like the headlights. Look very good. Again, they wrap around the back and then go all the way to the back where you can see them. QX50 right there. Infiniti back here with the badge. And then dropping it down, you have your dual exhaust setup with more of that plastic I was talking about. And then one last thing I want to show, we'll go back up, is it does kind of have its own built-in lip spoiler look, even though it's not really a spoiler. It does kind of look like it with the brake strip. And on this side, we do have our gas cap. So that's the exterior. Let's go ahead and show how a 6'6" person can fit inside this thing. Okay, so before we hop inside, I want to show you the key fob. So Nissan and Infiniti actually did change it finally, which I find is pretty cool. You have your remote start, lock, unlock, trunk, and then your alarm. 2 ways, or 3 ways to unlock the car. You have the key, you have the button, and you also have right there where you don't even have to do anything. It just detects the key, unlocks, and lets you right in. Very neat. Going inside, I moved everything back for me, and headroom and legroom is 0 issue in this vehicle. I'll put the dimensions below. Your passengers in the back might struggle a bit, but I mean, hey, as long as you're comfortable up here, I guess that's okay. Whatever your preference is. Let's go ahead and show off the rest of this interior though. Alright, so getting started with this interior, it's a very sporty and luxurious design, and you're about to see what I'm saying in just a moment. So getting started on the door, you have very nice materials all around. We have stitching up here, a very textured kind of plastic material here, but I mean, it feels really good. We do have the door handle there with a very nice design. Memory seats, we do have the Bose sound system. These are the tweeters with more speakers all around the vehicle. We have our window controls, mirror controls, lock, unlock, that good stuff down here. Plush armrests, which feel really good, along with your handle. Down here, you have a little cubby for storage. You can put a cup in there also. Up here, we do have more tweeters with our lights for blind spot monitoring. It lights up here and right over there, which I think is pretty cool. Air vent with more of that texture design. Going down here, we have steering assist, park assist. We have our heads-up display on off, trunk button, light controls, dimming for the gauges right there. Our hood release is down there. Moving back, the wheel is very nice. It's similar to what they use in some of the other vehicles. Nice bolstering, It's kind of a somewhat flat, but also not flat design. It just curves, but it doesn't look like it with that right there. And we have a bunch of different things to do, volume controls, Bluetooth controls, all the radio stuff here. And over here, we have our page controls for our system, which we'll see in just a moment. We have our intelligent cruise control, and then we have our sensors we can activate for all around the vehicle, where it shows it up here also. Pretty neat. And going ahead, starting the vehicle, put your foot on the brake, start button's down here, and you just watch it come to life. The gauges do a really nice sweep, which is pretty cool. And as you can see, when this button's pressed, that's what you get up there. Let me press again to get rid of that real quick. You'll get that little display. It's pretty cool. And then we hit the little page buttons down here. We have all kinds of different things we can go through. Apple CarPlay, your music, you can see your compass. You do have your speed limit up there, temperature, time, whatever assist you have on, your drive mode, and then you have your normal speedometer, tachometer. Looks really good, very clean setup and very simple to use from what I've done so far. Also note, you do have paddle shifters on this vehicle. Coming over, you do have wireless CarPlay, and it is a 2-screen setup. I know some people love it, some people hate it, but your CarPlay setup will be up top, and then on the bottom you have your display, which has all your different things you can mess with down here. You can change like the heads-up display, which let me get that. You should be able to see it. But you can change your heads-up display down here, all kinds of settings. All your climate controls are on the left, along with your heated and cooled seats. And then you have your defrost, all that here. Radio controls are on the bottom with more buttons. And then if I can move this cup back, you do have a CD changer. Going down, you do have a little cubby down here, along with USB-C and USB-A and a 12-volt charger, along with a little space down there. Moving back, we do have this style shifter where you just push back for drive, forward for reverse, middle for neutral, and you press for park. Electronic park brake with auto hold, drive modes. You do have your little setup, which lets you control up here. I would just use the touchscreen personally, but it is there. Then you have your camera buttons, which as you can see, you can change a bunch of different views, which is pretty cool all around the vehicle. So that is something pretty neat. And then it goes back to the CarPlay. Center console, it's very flush with the design. Feels good, it's kind of on the firm side, but you do have a lot of space in here to put some stuff in, along with a USB slot right there. Going over to the side, we have more nice material up here. It is plush, and then it has more of that texture design, along with an interesting push out right here. You have your glove box over there. And then coming back, we do have these seats. They have nice bolstering. They're more on the firm side, but they are kind of sportier, more than luxurious in my opinion. But they do the job very well. And then just going up real quick too, we do have our lights, our controls for our panoramic roof, which goes all the way back. And then we also have the SOS button up there. And overall, this is a very nice place to be. I would say that this is a good vehicle for anyone needing the room and also wanting the sportiness. But let's go ahead and show off that back seat real quick. All right, so after struggling to get back here, I did it for you guys. This is what it looks like to have a tall person behind a tall person. So you probably don't want to sit behind whoever's driving if they are super tall. Let's go ahead though. Door is very similar to the front, with the exception of you do have the little shade back here, which is pretty neat, especially if you have kids, to help keep them from getting sun all over them, which, you know, they may complain it gets hot, no telling. Very nice place to be back here though. I mean, the headroom is good with that panoramic roof. And then in the middle, I just want to show real quick, you do have your vents, you do have your USB, you have your car charging outlet, and then you do have your climate controls right there. Other than that though, really not much else to say. It's just a good place to be, especially for children. Let's go ahead and show off your cargo space behind me. I also didn't want to leave you hanging. You do have cup holders and a rest back here. All right, so showing off the cargo space real quick. You can open it from over here, or you can just hold this. It does it all for you. So we'll give it a second, then we'll go check it out. And now that it's open, as you can see, plenty of space back here for your grocery getter, for your wives, husbands, whoever you're trying to convince. Definitely good reason to get it. Plenty of space back here. You can bring the seats down by pulling this to give you more room. It is a 60-40 split, which is nice to have. Over here, we do have a 12 volt, which I just want to show real quick. And the last thing I want to show back here, if you pull this and lift, we have our tool set right there, a couple of manuals with the tray, and then we have our amplifier for our sound system. And it looks like a subwoofer right there. Very weird enclosure, but it is there. It's all hidden under this mat. Close it up. You don't even know it's there anymore. And then to close it, we just press this. It beeps again, goes back down. And now that that's going back down, let's go ahead, check out the exhaust, engine, and then let's go for a drive. Alright, so let's talk about that VC turbo engine. We get that 2-liter inline-4 setup, making 268 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. You do have a CVT on this, which is kind of but it is there. Front-wheel drive is what you get on this Infiniti. There also is all-wheel drive setup. MPGs, 23 city, 29 highway, 26 combined, a 16-gallon tank. Premium fuel is recommended, so overall you can go pretty good ways with that. And the length of the vehicle is 184.7 inches, and the height is 66 inches. So overall, pretty good for a small package. If the CVT doesn't bother you, might be worth giving a shot. Okay, so we're going to take this QX50 for a drive. I have it in standard mode for now. On the way back from the lap we're doing, I'll put it in sport mode. So going ahead and taking off. Heads-up display is very nice to have. Straightening the wheel again and turning left. Here we go. So as you heard in the exhaust, this thing is not the greatest sounding vehicle ever, but when you're inside, it's not much of an issue. It's really silent, and the engine does have plenty of power to it. I'm gonna go ahead and go around while this guy's going slow. Takes speed bumps pretty well. And we'll go ahead and get to the bottom of this hill, and then we'll be right back. All right, so taking a turn, we're just gonna drive it this way. And this thing's got plenty of power. That little 4-cylinder actually does a lot for a vehicle this size. Drives really well in the turns. You can't even really feel any sway. Definitely more sport oriented. I will say that much. It's not soaking up everything, but it's also not harsh. And it does take the turns kind of like a sporty SUV, almost like a car kind of, just oversized. And I mean, as you can hear, it's really quiet unless you're really gunning it. Coming to a stop, brakes are really good. You'll have no problem there. And we'll go ahead and just test from a stop how good it is. And it's got plenty of pull, plenty of pull. That CVT surprisingly does really good. I actually wasn't expecting much out of it, but after driving it, it does the job, and that engine does its job also. As you can see in the turn, no issue at all. Handling it like a champ. Okay, coming to another stop, just testing those brakes, so we'll give it a hard squeeze here. And yeah, no problem at all. Like I mentioned, the heads-up display is definitely helpful. I have the speed limit up there, along with my speed itself, so it makes it very easy to correlate between the two. And also just all the display information that the vehicle gives me up front, very useful to have. Makes it an easy and pleasant drive. And inside, the quality is very nice. It's a comfortable vehicle. You know, like I said, the seats are a bit more on the firm side, but they do hold you in well. And coming to another stop, we're going to do a little loop around, and then we're going to put in sport mode and test it there. So give me just one moment. All right, so we're in sport mode now. Will say steering definitely changed. The pedal response changed, and overall the vehicle just feels a lot more tight than it did before. We're gonna come up to a stop sign here, and then I'll kind of show the difference in acceleration from a stop. It's a lot more loose than before, so hitting those brakes, getting that stop completely, and here we go. And it definitely revs a lot higher, and you can feel the vehicle way more. Honestly, that's the way I would drive it. Again, some people prefer the comfort side of things. I prefer the sporty one, and overall this is very good. There are some SUVs like this that just do comfort and they try to do sport and it doesn't work, but on this one I think they did really well. Don't let the CVT completely scare you. I know some people will never give it a shot, and that's totally okay, but if you're thinking about it, just give this thing a shot. I think it will surprise you like it surprised me with this engine transmission setup and just the overall quality of the vehicle. But with that said, we're gonna cut it off here. Oh look, there's a stop sign there. I'm getting so distracted by talking I can't even stop. But we're gonna cut it off here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, and until the next video, I'll see you guys. Peace out.